Hello. Quite honestly, I don't feel like doing a fancy setup because I feel like I will not film a single thing. So I thought I would just sit down and just chat to you via my laptop because that just might make this a little easier. But I wanted to talk to you about the books that I read in March. March was a significantly long month, and I'm not even kidding you because I felt like it was never ending. But I'm thankful in terms of reading because I was able to read like 11 books. That is crazy, especially for someone like me. That is insane. But I did read 11 books, and I wanted to chat to you about them. Initially, I did read the second book of the Heartstrings series. I think it's supposed to be a trilogy, but the second book, Now Back to You by B.K. Borson, and I loved this book. I actually saw a review by Mel from Mel Reads, basically saying she hated it and gave it like 2 stars. And here I am with 5 stars because I loved it so much. I don't know what it was. I love Jackson as a character. I just thought he was adorable. He's such a sweet person, and I wanted more of him, really. So I got that, and I really enjoyed it. Delilah, our FMC in this book, was also super sweet, and she was quite silly as well, I guess. But she's very like heartfelt. I loved her. I thought she was so fantastic, and I really enjoyed reading that book so much. And it is about this radio show and a TV news channel as well. So it's like weather reports between these two characters, and they end up actually having to work together, and there's close proximity. It's so cute. I loved it. I thought it was so fantastic. I had such a grand time reading it. It's probably very silly, but I felt like Jackson was a character who was very straight to the point, and once their romance kind of hit off, it just stayed that way and it was good. I really like that whole aspect. I really had a good time with it. I had no complaints. I give it 5 stars. It was my first 5 star of the year, so I was very excited about it. And the next book I read was In Her Own League by Liz Tomforty. Guess how many stars I gave this? Obviously 5 stars. There's no other way around it. But I must say, I felt like this was one of the more weaker books by Liz Tomforty. The other 5 books that I've read from her, I felt they had more of a depth to it that In Her Own League was kind of lacking for some reason, at least for me. But I would really want some kind of Emmett Montgomery in my life. You have no clue. I want to say more things about this man, and there's some very unhinged things in my brain, but I can't say it because I, I don't know. I feel like it's not safe for the internet. So I'm not going to mention those things, but I genuinely love this character so much. He is a very grown-ass man who's a single dad, and I loved him. I think he's such a fantastic character, and the way that this man would sacrifice for the people that he loves, top notch. Love him so much. I would die for this man. He's so good, and I loved him. He's so perfect. So absolutely great. Love that book. I love the romance. I loved that once these two characters were actually together, there was no sense of like a third act breakup or anything like that, which would most likely make me hate the book, but nothing like that. It was very sweet, and I loved it. I thought it was really great. And I went on to read Kill for Me, Kill for You by Steve Kavanaugh. I've heard such good things about this, so I was very excited about it and I went into it. I was also listening to the audiobook while I was reading this on my Kindle. And there was a part in this book where the audiobook and the ebook differs. And I liked the ebook a lot more because otherwise it didn't really make sense how the book wrapped up. It made zero sense to me. So I was just like, what is going on? I was listening to the audiobook and I'm like, hello? How are these characters interacting? Makes no sense to me. So I didn't love how the audiobook was going, and I think that is the more I think US version or the more edited version, most recent one, and I didn't love that. I did not like it. I think I give it like 3 stars. So I don't know. The whole idea behind the book was good. I did enjoy like how it was going, the trajectory of it. It was good, right? I liked it. So these two characters meet at like a grief counseling place, and they decide to kill someone else for this other person. Does that make sense? This woman A wants a person dead because that guy killed her family, and woman B wants someone else dead because that guy killed her family. Things like that. So they just like, let's switch murders and then we'll be safe. So kill for me, kill for you kind of a thing. They come into deal and go forward. And there's a detective who's trying to solve the cases of lots of murders that's happening. And we have no idea because there's no connections between the murders really. So it's just trying to find out what's going on. And it's a very interesting premise. but I felt like it was not executed as well as I wanted it to be, and so I didn't really enjoy it. Especially because I compared the audiobook and the ebook. It was not the same, and it made no sense via the audiobook. Does not make sense. So I did not love that, but the ebook was better, and I give it like 3 stars. Then I read Wild Love by Elsie Silver. This is the first book of the Rose Hill series. I'm also going to say I did read the second book, Wild Eyes, in the Rose Hill series later on in the month. So that one I give 3 stars. The first one I give 4 stars, and or 4.5 rather. So Wild Love is best friend's sister romance, and I thought it was sweet. But these characters knew each other once since they were like children, and he's like 3 years older than her, but he's had such a huge crush on her, but he's never really acted on it because, best friend sister, so he was scared to actually act on it, and they never really interacted in that way. And finally, one summer, our main character, our FMC, moves back from the city into this little town that they were like raised up in, and they work together, and it's so sweet. Like this guy's a multi-billionaire, so um the way that they work together, the banter that they have is very cute. It is very, very spicy, so if you're not into that, definitely steer clear from this. But I enjoyed it. I thought the story itself was sweet enough, so I quite liked it. Wild Eyes, though, about that brother that from the first book that I was talking about, the brother has 2 kids. By the way, this whole series is a single dad series. Okay. Anyway, second book, Wild Eyes, falls around that brother that I was talking about from the first book, and it's his romance, and he meets this really hotshot singer, who's trying to run away from her life, trying to figure things out, and she comes into this town at Rose Hill, and their romance is sweet, but it didn't work for me. I didn't really love it. I just felt like it was very unbelievable almost. I didn't care for it all too much. So that one was a little bit of a dud for me. Also, I must say, I was listening to the audiobook for this one as well, and the audiobook narrator, I think it's Teddy Hamilton. I fucking hate him. I'm so sorry. I know so many people love him. Cannot stand him. I cannot stand this dude. Every time he started speaking, it felt like he was biting down onto something and he's speaking, and it irritated me so much. Every single time his chapters came through, I just wanted to rip off my ears. Like, you know what I'm saying? It was just so annoying. It grated me so much. Anyway, I much rather preferred the female narrator who made like the male voice come through as a bass voice, and I much rather preferred that than the actual narrator, the male narrator. I hated him. I hated him. Ugh. I'll make sure if it's actually Teddy Hamilton, but if it's not, I'll just put that here. But yeah, I hated him. So that was not great. Yeah, so overall, it was not a great book for me, maybe like 2.5 or 3 stars. I didn't care for the characters all too much. I didn't feel like the romance really hit as much as I would have liked to, so it was fine. I didn't really love it, but it was okay. I love the kids though. They were very, very cute kids. I like that, but nothing else really. The next book I read was Say You'll Remember Me by Abby Jimenez, and I must say this was my least favorite book by Abby Jimenez, and I gave this 3.5 stars. This one follows around more of like a long distance relationship. These people meet in one state, and then we realize that the FMC is going to travel all the way across the country to go and stay with her mom who has like Alzheimer's or something. Dementia, something like that, right? So she's forgetting things. She does not even remember this daughter at all. So she definitely wants to go and live with her family, try to help out because her mother's forgetting everything. She has no clue who her family is. It's insane, right? So these two characters have like a little date. The guy's a vet, and she brings in like a cat or something, and they kind of bond. They had a nice interaction. Well, it was bad at first, but then they had a nice interaction. They went on a date, really hit it off, and then by the end of the date, he realizes she's actually moving states, like across the country. So he's really devastated. He had such a grand time with her, and it's them trying to like figure things out and work through this romance and hopefully make it work. And I don't know, for some reason it just didn't work with me because these two characters did not actually communicate. And some circumstances of it was difficult to like get through. I understand that, but I feel like they just did not communicate. And if they did, things would have been a lot easier and better. But they didn't do anything, so it was just very annoying at times. So that was the only thing. But I don't know. For some reason, I just didn't love this book. And For some reason, also, you know how in every single Abby Jimenez books, she shouts out her own bakery, Nadia Cakes, I think, and it didn't feel organic, right? It just felt like it was really pushed into here, and I didn't love that, so that was also there. It really stuck out to me, so I needed to say it. The story overall was something that I didn't really care too much about, but also one thing, the MMC was compared to Rhysand from ACOTAR by Sarah J. Maas. I feel like 5 times in this book, and it was consistent, right? I felt so annoyed. I was so annoyed by it. Like every single person that like sees this dude is like, oh, he looks like Rhysand. Oh, he looks like Rhys, from the Night Court. I'm like, brother, what the fuck? Calm down. No, I didn't like that reference at all. Maybe once or twice I could stand it. I think there was like 5 times this was mentioned, and it was like by different people from different age groups, and it was just like, you know what? I'm out. I did not care for it. I did not like it. So that was that. Then I read the last 2 books of the Bear Town series by Frederick Bachman. So I read Us Against You and The Winners by Frederick Bachman. Both of these are 5 stars. They're very heartbreaking books, and they're also general fiction. It does deal with rape, sexual assault, and making the victim like isolated, their family isolated, a lot of killing, violence. It is brutal. It's such a bad book in that sense. It's just not great. Definitely check out the trigger warnings for this before you get into it. It is very, very good. It's beautifully written, but it is very heavy. So if you're not into that, stay clear from this. But it was so good. I don't know what else to say about it. It really broke my heart. I was crying so much. It was also 5 stars for both of them. And it's really great. I loved it so, so much. I don't have anything else to say. No notes. This was so great, but check the trigger warnings because it is very, very heavy. Then I read Project Hail Mary by Andy Weir. I don't really do sci-fi, so I didn't know if I wanted to really read this, but I do want to watch the movie, so I was just like, you know what? I'm gonna do it. And I did. I had such a good time. I thought it was really fun. I didn't love the scienciness of this too much, but I mean, it's a sci-fi, so I kind of should have expected that, obviously. So that was fine, but I didn't really care for it all too much. Towards the end, there was like a back and forth flip through of present day when our main character is in space. He's like forgotten a lot of details of why he's there or how he got there, and he's like going back and forth in like timelines trying to like remember things. And I didn't really care for it towards the end of the book. I didn't really need it. Um, the end of the book, especially, is just like something that I totally expected, so it didn't really surprise me. So that's why I gave this like 4.5 stars, but it was so sweet. I loved the alien interactions that our main character had. It was so cute. It's such a heartwarming story. Loved it. I thought it was so so cute. Cute. It was just really good. I had a good time reading it. It's a nice book, so if you've not read it, definitely read it. And I feel like this would be a great movie. So I'm looking forward to actually watching the movie because I feel like it could be better than the book. So I'm expecting it to be better, so definitely will keep an eye out for that. Then I read The Shippers by Catherine Center. This is coming out later. This is coming out in May. So I got an early copy from NetGalley as an audiobook, and I was able to actually finish this one. Our main character Jojo fixates on one of her childhood neighbors. She thinks that this dude is her first kiss, and she just really fixates on this guy and thinks that if she can get into a relationship with him or kiss him rather, all her relationship issues will get fixed. So she's not good at committing. She's a commitment phobe, and every time she actually gets to a place where she could get married or get into a good relationship, she kind of breaks it off for whatever reason, right? So she really thinks that this neighborhood like guy is the person for her, and Cooper, her best friend from childhood, who initially RSVP'd no to her wedding, showed up at her wedding and was just like, dude, you're not going for this wedding, so get out of it. And they got out of it, go on this cruise for her Jojo sister's wedding, and again, Cooper shows up. This neighbor crush that she had also shows up, and she's trying to win that guy over. And it's a childhood best friend romance, and I think it was sweet, but it was also something that was like very bland almost. It felt like nothing really was happening. So I give it like 3 stars. It was fine. I really figured out what was going to happen, and it was like, I didn't really care for it all too much. So that was there. But I loved Cooper. I think he's such a catch. He's such a sweet man. I love that about him. But that's about it. it didn't have much of a saving grace, unfortunately, so I didn't really care too much about it. But he was a hunk of a man, must say. So that was really good. The final book I'm going to talk about is The Night We Met. This is by Abby Jimenez again. This is the second book of the Say You'll Remember Me series. This one is a messy story, okay? I gave this, did I give this 5 stars? Why did I give this 5 stars? I don't know if I gave it 5 stars, but I really enjoyed it. This one follows around Larissa, our main character. She's going through some really terrible things and she's suffering so much, right? Her dad is a piece of shit. Her mom is there, but is not so great. And she's living in a crappy apartment and she's dating this dude who is fine, but she also has a good relationship with this guy, Chris. And they're like kind of sharing a dog. They're dog parents. But the catch is Larissa is dating Chris's best friend. There's no cheating in this, but you can really see the person that she's dating is not worth it. Not worth the time, nothing, right? He's not a great person, and you can really see that, and it really sucked. I hated seeing that so much, and I didn't understand why Larissa didn't break up with this dude, because like, come on, girl. And also, Chris was really shooting himself in the face for some reason. I don't know what was wrong with this dude. Like, just get the balls and just get them to break up somehow and then date him. Like, you know what I'm saying? But then he let it go for like months. These two people dated for so long that it got to a point where Chris could definitely not date Larissa and let it be okay. Because, you know, there's a code. You can't date your best friend's partner. That is insane, right? But of course, this is romance. That is exactly how it works, right? And it worked, but the intensity, the friendship breakup, they had like four guys who were like really good friends. They were best friends, and they're best friends from childhood. So that will obviously break up the whole group dynamic as well. So just seeing that really was quite a lot, and it was a great book. I really enjoyed it, and by the end of it, I was just bawling my eyes out because, like, what is the situation? But it was really good. I really enjoyed it, and I give it 5 stars. I thought I gave it like 4.5, but it was really good. I really enjoyed it. And Naughty Cakes was not mentioned in this because her main character had a peanut allergy, and so she felt like it was not right to do that. And I thought that was very smart of her to do. I thought that was really good. It didn't feel like it was inorganically placed or anything like that, so thankfully it was not even there. So I didn't get like kicked out of the story for a second there, rolled my eyes or anything. So that was good. But that's it. I read 11 books in the month of March. It was really fun. I had a grand time. I got back into audiobooks quite a bit as well, but I was also like listening and reading at the same time because that's always been great. Especially, I would really recommend Project Hail Mary because that audiobooks was it was just top notch. It was really good. If you're going to actually read that book, definitely try audiobook as well. It's really, really good. So that's it. Those are all the books I read. If you're new here, hi, welcome. My name is Ansu. I occasionally post on here in full form. Otherwise, I do a lot of short form videos, and I would love to chat with you sometime soon. But these are the books that I read. Let me know what you thought about all these books, if you've read any of them, or what books you really enjoyed in the month of March. I'll see you all next time with another one. Until then, I'll talk to you in the comments. Goodbye.